Laura Lynn from the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop here, working on block 2. It's actually a lot of blocks, let me tell you, not just one block, for the block of the month that we're doing. This is obviously for March, and it's the ribbon borders of what goes on this quilt. Get right side up there. So it's these little ribbon borders right here, okay? From this top part here, this top part to here is 16 of these blocks, but we're gonna end up making them, so you need 64, okay? Because 16 and 16 is 32, 32 and 32 is 64. Okay, and then you need 4 little 6-inch squares to go at the very top. I have these 2 done, or those 2 done, doesn't matter, but I need to add these 2 on the outside of the ones that we're making today. So first we'll show off how to work the block. It's very similar to the Broadway star block, how it had laying out there as well. Okay, so you have the cream and the blue, and these are they have you cutting out. Now let me just make a little note here, because I did make a mistake, but it was an okay mistake. I just had lots of trimmings on the floor. So it has you having the taupe at 6 3/4, cutting it. It has you cutting the navy at 6 3/8, not 6 3/4, and the boys rule at 6 3/4. So do note that that middle one is only 3/8. So I had 3/4, so I only had a little bit of trim in on both sides to come off. So thank goodness it wasn't a major mistake like the 8 7/8, but you know, it was okay. It was doable. So I was like, ah. But once I realized that, because I cut everything at 6 3/4, thinking that's what it was, right? Or at least that's what my eye read, but I was mistaken. So just make sure you're aware of those cuts there, and then everything will come together really easy, okay? So of course this one has you cutting it twice to give it, you're on the diagonal twice to give it that shape. So make sure you're getting that shape exactly like it has right there. Each one is going to do the thing. We're going to build 6 of these together, and then we're going to put the 2 rows together so you can see. Okay, so just flip it over. And you can just feed in all 6 of them or all 64 of them all at the same time. No. No. I swear, he hears me do the countdown. Okay, and like I say, you just feed them all in. But make sure, this is always where you get to do a little double check, making sure it's exactly the way it needs to be before you commit to putting a seam in it, right? And then just line it up. If you need to put a pin in it, this is just, to me, it's just big enough. It doesn't need a pin. But I think if it was any bigger, it might need a pin, and a little smaller, I'd probably put a pin in it. Okay, so this just gives you the opportunity to line each block up. Make sure you're doing it right. And this actually was really quite fun and easy to put together. When I had each of the squares built out, so I'm like, how am I going to build that ribbon? I mean, it looks so much more complicated than what it is, and it's really not. I was like, oh, I got this. I feel like a smarty pants finishing this. There we go. See, as you can tell, right behind it, it adds that little ribbon border. Line her up. And of course, you can line all yours up ahead of time and just have a little stack and feed them right through. But, you know, this just makes, to me, I'm not making any mistakes, you know, because I just had it in a little stack right there. Been excited to get back at this, let me tell you. I was like pestering Pop for like 3 or 4 days now. Can we film? I want to finish. I want to film. Because this is kind of a big one. It took a little while. So I spent like, you know, an hour, not necessarily an hour cutting, but, you know, trying to get all the bits and bobs together. And I did realize it gave you quite a bit more of these ones to put together, and a couple, you know, I don't know. So I don't know whether it was just the way I cut it, but I ended up far more than 64. And I was trying to think, I read along the pattern to see if they were using it somewhere else, and not that I could see. So, and it just tells you to make 64. Okay, so now we're going to take those 6 that we have right here, and we're going to press to the blue, the boys rule, okay, for all of them. So just move that off to the side. These are my little stacks. And of course you have to trim those little tails off each one, but get them put together first, and then you can trim the tails. Okay. And of course, if you wanted to go to the dark side, you just have that one so it's up and you can pull up its little tail sort of thing, and then it's going to press to the dark. Okay. And you're just applying some heat. You're not, you know, trying to stretch it or anything. Okay. All right, now we sew their counter buddies on, just like this, easy peasy. So line it up, whichever way you want to go. I had them all just sitting like that. I put them all together. Because when together, they should be just like one of those guys. Exactly. Okay. All right. Just line them all up. Of course, it doesn't really matter whether you're doing it that way or this way. It's really only one way it goes together. But if there's a way to mess it up, I could find it. Hopefully you guys got a chance to watch the live stream. That was really good fun with the blue scrappy coming together, the blue arrow, blue scrappy arrow. I'm loving it, loving it. I can't wait to work on that. See, I figure I got to get this out of the way and then I can work on that a little bit. You know? Get some progress done. And as you see, last month's block is just right up behind me here over on my shoulder. And that was very easy to do. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. He's meowsing his time around. And of course, in their picture, they had the little layout different on each block. See how it's got the green, the red, the blue, and the purple, and then it's got the blue, the purple, the red, the green. So I don't know, it was a little twisted there, so I did it the same. I wanted them both the same. I didn't want one different than the other. Though you could if you wanted to. I mean, it's up to you, but I built them the way the block had said in the instructions. Like with those colors in that zone. So I don't know, I liked it better. All right, now you're just gonna feed all of these in. Like, this is a great way to do some chain piecing, put on, you know, Murdoch Mysteries, and just, you know, put your headset on if you got a headset, or turn the volume loud. I do notice that their intro and outro music is very loud. And then the show is fine, but it's like the intro music, or at least for some reason on mine, my Netflix, it plays really loud. So. Nonetheless, I'll stop whining and just get sewing. But it does come together pretty fast once you get all the pieces cut, right? Because you can, like I say, you can just do the chain because they're all the same. All 64 blocks are the same. It's not like you had to think, oh, you know, 32 are this way and 32 are that way. No, all the same. And I like the colors. The colors really kind of give it that twisty little look to it for the ribbon, right? I think it's just you had that light, that medium, and that dark. You know, it's like almost like the Rubik's, not the Rubik's Cube thing, but the Cubert. People would, you know what I'm talking about. That game we used to play when we were kids, Cubert. His little block, that little 3D block, that was fun too. But it also required that light tone, medium tone, and dark tone to give it that effect, right? So it's amazing how fabric color just kind of plays optical illusions. Okay, so now we're going to cut all those 6 apart and press to the navy blue. Okay, that is, yeah, the navy blue. Okay, so we're, like I say, just plop it, pull the dark tab up or dark edge up or dark corner up, and then just press. Hold it up, let it just flop, and there you go. And you can do all these all at the same time. I pretty much stopped and put 6 off to the side. Actually, I think I had 8, and then I realized what I was getting more than I was doing more than necessary. I had like almost 70 squares. I'm like, oh, wait a second here. Back that up. Now I only have 6 to do. So, okay, we'll leave that there. That there. All right, now we want to nip off these little ears, tails, whatever you want to call them. And they pretty much measure up at 6 inches. See, right there to right there, that is 6 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And they're pretty good. If you do your cuts the way you're supposed to, see if we just nip off that little tail there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There really shouldn't be any issues, really. I think I only found one that was a little bit longer, and I thought maybe I just cut my navy blue, like maybe on askew a little bit, maybe that one piece, but it was the only one out of the stack so far that I had a little bit of a, you know, oops, maybe I'm going to find a little longer one to go with him. So just nip off all these little tails. You can just do it like this. I was kind of doing it all sorts of ways. I was putting it in my little pin cushion bag. Just keep your fingers away. You like those attached, preferably not with stitches. Okay. I guess you could just use the scissors, whatever works for you, you know. This is a nice little straight blade, so just run it up along the side of it. Like I said, keep your fingers out of the way. Make a little pile over here. It's another beautiful day out there. So looking forward to spring. Actually, this Sunday we have a spring forward. So I may affect some of you guys. I'm not entirely sure. But do double check for the next live stream, okay? That if you don't want to miss it. Okay, so now we've got these 6 all ready to rock. Now it's pretty much put this whole ribbon, the ribbony border together. And it really has no more complicated directions than 1 and 2. Honest. It says block layout and construction. The construction of the ribbon border block is the same as the Broadway star with the units just larger. Make 24 tri-square measuring 6 inches square unfinished, allowing extra color placement. Oh, following exact color placement, okay? And then referring to the finished quilt image, piece 16 ribbon border blocks together to make 4-pieced border strips, pressing in one direction on 2 of the strips. So a boy's rule 6-inch square to each end. Press towards the boy's rule fabric, set aside for final quilt assembly. That's literally the instructions of how to do this block. So it's a lot of, you already kind of know what you got to do. So, you know, we could do her. Okay, I think that's that pile that goes there. We'll put that there. Make sure I got my 16 in here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, now they all start off the same way. You would think maybe because it's on the one side or the upside or the downside. Nope, they're all the same, so it's very easy peasy to get them started. You start off with a blue triangle in the upper corner with the lighter blue in like a I don't know, like a teepee effect sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's a triangle towards you. And then you just take the other one and flip it just like that. And then you take this one and lay it out like you had on that one. See, because it was in the upper corner. And that's it. That's it. That's all you have to do. So what I was doing is I was taking these 2 and doing 2 sets of 2, 2, 2, and then did sets of 4, and then sets of 8, and then that was it. So to me, that was the easiest way to put it together. So that's so it was the just a little chain piece action here going on. But just make sure you're lining them up. Set each 2 blocks out visually before you stitch. Okay. Move these over here. Remember, up and there. So we together. corner up. Make that blue square, the light blue square, the boys rule blue square, and then you're good. And it really goes, like I said, goes together fast. And then when you get it all done, you get your row together, you're like, wow, well, that looks pretty good. And you pin it up and you're pretty proud. And then it really encourages you to finish the rest of the quilt because you already got the border done. They're very sneaky that way. I said to Pop, I'm like, I think they're really making you want to finish this quilt. And he's like, why? It's because they're making you do the border. Get it all done. There we go. Do 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 do. All right, now up and turn. Shush, Mr. Clive, enough for you. Apparently not. All right, now, and then we'll press these and then sew these 2s into 4s. And then the 4s into 8s and da-da-das, okay? All right, so let's press, press, and press. Okay. And they should be nice and crisp. You know what I mean? You got some nice clean lines going on here. It's kind of like almost like a no fail. You know what I mean? I mean, the most is always in the beginning is getting those cuts precise. You know, making sure you're reading what you're starting off with, and making sure you're doing the right cut. Remember, it was 6 3/8 for that light or for that navy blue. Okay, not 6 3/4 like it was for the taupe and the boys rule. I'm excited to for the next part. It's got some of those funky blocks. We'll have to use the template. So I'm going to copy what I have and use the one I'm going to the copy to use, because I want to be able to keep this whole pattern add together in case I want to use it again. So that's my choice with whether I could be great for scrappies. So yeah, there's a couple of these. There's that one we're going to have to copy. So I think there was 2 or 3, and there's more towards the end as well. So, okay, now we're going to take those, and this is even, you can't mess this up because you're just putting it on this wave now, right? You're just the 2 little angled pieces of the blue that give it that little twist as it's coming around. Okay. Put that there. Grab another 4 or 2, pack of 2, whatever, to make 4. A lot of numbers going on. Math is every day. Okay, and then these. Do. I think a quilt with these columns, but like the rainbow, that go from like a light red, dark red, white, you know, and that kind of keeps playing, going from one end to the other. I think that would look really awesome. So somebody make it, okay? I want to see it. All right, so now we put these little 4s, we'll press them, and then we'll pretty much just make it into its row of 16 that it needs to be. Okay, let's put that off to the side. Okay, and then you're just gonna make another one. But you're gonna make sure to add your squares on either. So you can either to the first set of rows you do or the second set. I just saved it for the second set. So you could see us doing it together so you knew what I was up to. chaos. Okay, now keep sewing and sewing and sewing. Here and here. Do a little flip. I just find it a little easier than that this way, than you're not always dealing with always a big bulk of fabric, keep adding on, you know. So to me, I think it's just an easier way to get things done in my mind without making mistakes. But mistakes happen, as we well know. Okay. And then there, and then that is our row of 16 done, and we'll put our blue on either side. Okay. Now this one gets a big square of blue. And I like that it wasn't complicated. It looks complicated, but it's really not. That's like the Bargello. It looks complicated, but it's really not. Well, I guess it depends on your Bargello. 3/4 of an inch cut was as small as I was going. Okay. Now this ends up being quite a big quilt. Wasn't it 99 by 99 or something like that? I thought it was, yeah, 99 by 99. Yeah, so, you know, pop another couple inches on there, you can have 100 by 100, so. All right, so now we want to do our little intersections where we sewed together. Okay. And that is pretty much it. And I'm just going to do one more and I'll be ready for, well, for the end, really. I mean, I guess if you puttered away at the blocks and just kind of puttered away at this too, you know, slowly but surely, but got her done. As long as it was done by the time you got your last block done, that's all really necessary, right? So there we go. It's really long and it's still over there. And that's what that's what we're going to be doing for the other one too. So thanks for watching, and we appreciate everybody who's on Patreon. Really big hugs to you guys. It helps us out a lot, and it encourages us to do different and unique content as well, you know. So thank you very much, and don't forget to do all of yours. I want to see pictures. Anybody doing this? I'd love to see. Okay, big hugs, everybody. We'll see you later. Take care. Bye.